Welcome to another episode of the Morning Constitution. This is a Jay in Washington production. I'm your host, Joel Hoxley, and our associate, Dan, is joining us. So, Dan, tell everybody, because they don't know you from my show. So, tell everybody about yourself, Dan.
I'm a senior at UCF. I'm an ed PR major, and this is my first semester with Jay in Washington. I'm really enjoying my time here and ready to dive in.
Cool. So, the thing we were just talking about is we were just shooting the breeze about different things. What is the most interesting thing that you've seen while you've been here at Jay in Washington?
In terms of like topics or in terms of like
Well,
innovation?
well, just all of it. I mean, is there something that that stood out to you? The podcasting, most likely.
Yeah, I would definitely say when it came time to make a decision for who I was going to intern with, I uh, I felt like this was the most standout at intern pursuit, just because it was more two-sided than, like, walking up and being like, "Here's a piece of paper with my name and experience on it." It was more of a conversation of, like, "Who are you?" and, "What are you intending to do?"
But
rather
but
than.
you got involved in politics. It's like, everybody's like, stay away from that stuff, right? You don't talk about religion, you don't talk about politics, and you don't talk about money or sex, right?
Right. Uh,
And we talk about all of them here.
yeah, I definitely think that for me, it's been fun because every time I get on, it's like an adrenaline rush. Because obviously in today's world, you have to tread carefully, so at least being a young person entering the professional world.
Well, just think that they're going to AI you eventually and have you saying things you've never said.
Right, that's true. So I can say whatever the hell I want and pawn it
That's
off
right.
on AI. So
So we were talking about a lot of different things happened this last week. It was funny. I had said that in our podcast on Thursday that tomorrow is not guaranteed, and I mentioned Feinstein and McConnell, and the next day I'm reading that Diana's dead. So uh, now they're rushing a replacement because the Senate is so close. But again, it's not guaranteed. So what are your thoughts about the rapid movement that the governor's doing for filling that seat?
um
I mean, but you could say that doesn't matter to me. I mean, look, these are things that I like to talk to you guys about because sometimes you just say we're not paying attention.
yeah, I honestly really haven't been paying attention as much to like. I mean, this position has kind of not like forced me, but encouraged me to look more into politics in general, but also local politics,
Hmm.
which is something that I've personally never paid attention to. But part of the reason that I took this position was to become more responsible as a citizen. So everything that I can take away from this, mostly in how I'm going to spend the rest of my life viewing the news, is what I'm looking to gain specifically. So
Nice. Well, in local news, I'm trying to still digest it, so I wouldn't be prepared to talk about it. But Maxwell, Scott Maxwell, who works for the Orlando Sentinel, he's an opinion columnist. He just ripped the mayor the um, and the board of county commissioners for pumping more money into the convention center. And I don't know how much you know about the convention center, but he's talking about it's never full. He's just why are we putting that money there? We're just guaranteeing more low paying jobs. I mean, minimum wage just went up to $12. So, I mean, we are the lowest on the list of income.
right, and this is Orange County, right? That's what it's affecting. So um, I have some knowledge because I wrote the show notes for this topic. So
Nice.
I
Okay.
I do have an idea, but I think part of what it was about too is that there's in Orange County there's so many stadiums and like it's a lot it's a lot to manage on a small scale, so it's like they have to take the responsibility to say, like, we have to put certain ones on the back burner, and we have to because obviously you have UCF, which is the biggest university in terms of student body in the United
But none
States.
of those tax dollars are available to UCF.
Really?
None of those tax dollars are those tax dollars have so many restrictions. They can only go to certain places. And so those hotel taxes and the lobbying that happens from that industry keeps that money very strictly, you know, restrained, and that drives people like Maxwell and Democrats like Emily Bonilla and Wilson drives them crazy because it's like, okay, where can I spend that money? And it's very limited. It has to be into the it has to be directly for the hospitality industry.
Mhm.
So now, okay, what do we do? We can give it to you want to give it to the city? You want to give it to the Amway? You want to give it to, no, you want to give it to what you're responsible for. So you put it into the convention center, which now it looks terrible because it's never full and, all this stuff is going on. It's like, wait a minute. Why are we putting millions of dollars into a place that's not full? And that's where the whole argument went. And, to blame the county commission, they have certain restrictions. They're restricted on how they spend that money. They put a commission together. Oh, but they didn't do this study. They didn't do this. I mean,
So, in your opinion, is the reason that it's empty, like, a lack of public interest, or is it a lack of, like, actual event planning?
well, it's a lot of everything. First, it's way too big. It's a huge facility. It accommodates the hotels that are down on International Drive. It it doesn't get filled because I don't think that the management and the government uh, employment that's there is really pushing. You know, you can't expect people just to come, right?
Right.
You have to have a truly, a true outreach, and Visit Orlando. I'm going to rip on Visit Orlando because I think they're the waste. I need a waste because if they were doing their job, they would have that place full, and they get plenty of money from this, from these tax dollars. So I just think it's a lack of, vision or, outreach or, I mean, when I worked for Kaplan University, it was an online university. I'm sorry if I didn't make hundreds of calls to get one enrollment. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking you're not making the calls. You're not putting the effort in to fill that facility,
Right, and
and they should hold them accountable.
yeah, and I think in terms of the market here in Orlando, I mean, it is a hub for travel. You have all the parks, people are bringing their families down here. Um, they literally test, you know, franchised restaurants, like if they're like, let's say, which we'll be talking about later too, Giordano's.
Hmm.
Giordano's is based in Chicago, but they have franchises here to test how it would do with different markets and demographics because people from all over the country are coming here. So if you have it's not only the people of Orlando, it's people from everywhere that are here all the time. I mean, that's like if, what would you say is if it's not the first, then somewhere in California maybe that people are traveling to a lot. Are they not able to fill a convention center either? Like, is this something that's
We have one of the largest convention centers. That's that's truly, uh, in all retrospect, it is huge. Um, but let me give you an example. When you talk about cost, when you talk about, you know, you know, convenience. David and I went to Podfest, and it was incredible. It was incredible, but it's something that you would expect to be housed at the convention center. but it was better for them to do it in one of the hotels. And the hotel did just as good a job hosting it as it would have been at the convention center. But if it was at the convention center, so how many more people could have gone? How much more could they have, you know, accommodated? But now the venue's a little smaller, it's more controlled, and that's how they chose to go. Why? Why? Is it cost? Those are the questions that need to be answered. We got managers out there getting paid way above minimum wage. They're supposed to have a job to do, and maybe we need to fire them and get a new group of leadership, because all we're doing is increasing the amount of maids, the amount of low paying jobs. Let's get some high paying jobs in here. That's what Maxwell's saying. So we should be investing in technology. I mean, we have UCF is a gold mine of what's going on. Like the bionics and the simulation is over there. All these things that are going on in UCF. UCF is a technology hub. This should be the center of the as David would put it, this should be the center of the metaverse, because we're so close to doing all of it. And I don't see why we aren't taking advantage of the largest convention center, the largest university. Uh, I just don't see why we're not taking advantage of all our resources. Is it because uh, we just want low paying jobs, or is it because we just don't know how to reach out and get those people? I mean, shoot, we have a large tennis facility. We're going to probably have the largest pickleball facility, but we do all these different things for no reason whatsoever.
Right. And it's crazy because uh, Angelina, who's another associate, and I went to a conference at the Kennedy Space Center like maybe 2 weeks ago, and first of all, I had no idea it was there, and second of all, it was like a whole theme park, and I haven't seen. I've been down in Orlando now for 2 years. I've never seen an advertisement for it. I've never seen a picture of what it looks like, and it's never anywhere that I can access. And I go to UCF, which is supposedly Space University, and they've done no promotion of it there, which I feel like is just a miss. And I think that's kind of speaking to what you're talking about, is that they have the resources to make it what it needs to be, and maybe they're just lacking in their drive to get it done.
I think we're flushed with so many dollars in those tax dollars and their limitation, that the only people that are actually benefiting from it are the people that are supposed to promote it and fill it, and they're not doing their job. So that's my final word on that. I like literally cannot understand. You have dollars, promote and do what you need to do to make sure it's full, and you should be held accountable. There should be an accountability to those people that get those dollars. And they should be forcing, you know, they should be forcing the fact that if they do their job correctly, they will have everything full. These low paying jobs would need to be high paying jobs because of the amount of people we would have. So I thank you, Dan, for spending some time with me here on the Morning Constitution. Um, you've been doing a great job as an intern and an associate. You're taking on intern pursuit too. So I appreciate that. The things that you've done, the marketing that you and David have been talking about, it's going to go a long way. So hopefully we'll see you at Intern Pursuit. Hopefully we'll see you in our comments. And maybe if you like Dan, you could give him a little thumbs up there.
Thanks for having me, Joel.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.